your imaginator. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Demi Mateos Hezen.
Yes,
Hi, Demi. Thank you for inviting me.
you're welcome.
Yeah, and so for starters, we have quite a long discussion in choosing a place, and finally we chose Dignitico. What made you choose this place?
This place is a special place because one of my friends, he owns this place,
Mhm.
and he lived and studied abroad. And then when he came back to Indonesia, he saw there's a lot to do with the local people,
Mhm.
and especially disabled people. So he created Dignity Co. For several reasons. He wanted to help the disability community to gain skills to be able to generate income for their adult life.
Mm.
And next to that, as you already saw with all the art,
Yes.
they sell it to sponsor the place because this place is privately funded.
Mhm.
As you see, it's a small place, so not really generates income as a restaurant
Mhm.
because it's not a restaurant or a cafe.
Uh-huh.
It's really a training center.
I
So
see.
this all community work.
I see. So, I believe Dignitico has a very noble mission. Yeah,
Yes.
training people and also showcasing the art. So there's so many arts here, and it's wonderful, beautiful colors. And so, Demi, as a high performance coach,
Yes.
what made you decide to publish a book?
Actually, that was not planned.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I'm a trainer. We know each other from my first training in Indonesia,
Yes.
right? And one of my friends, uh, he asked me, Demi, uh, Indonesia doesn't know who you are, so better you write a book, put all your training modules in it with a story that triggers the people to want to learn from you. That's actually why I decided to write a book.
I see. I see. So lately, I have been learning to improve my communication skills.
Yeah.
What do you think of me?
Um, Communication skills is like a hunch, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
means that you have to feel comfortable yourself. You have to be able to express yourself as you want to show the people,
Mm-hmm.
and next to that, you're doing it in a right way, and you're looking at the camera, you're looking at me. So it's very important that you make eye contact because it's polite. Also paying attention to people's behavior, so you can estimate, blah blah blah. But communication is a big word, right? So this is just one setting, and there's hundreds of different settings
Mm-hmm.
when we communicate, even when we don't.
Okay. So, what kind of setting really reveals what kind of person you are?
At home, in the shower,
In the shower.
yeah, because then we pee in the shower, we cannot lie.
So that means it's common, right?
Hmm?
So that means it's common, and everyone has it.
Yeah, it's very simple. When we are in an environment, we are communicating. So when we say nothing,
Okay.
and why communication, as the theory of Paul Watzlawick says, defines in three conclusions. Right? When we behave ourselves, we are communicating,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when we communicating, we influence other people,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no way not to behave.
Mm-hmm.
So we always communicate, even when you're silent in the corner, being shy or introvert. People see that.
Yes.
You get noted.
Yes. Yes.
And you don't want to be noted. That's why you're like that. But you get noted.
Yes.
So you're always sending signals.
Mm-hmm.
So communication in what kind of setting? There's no setting. The moment you are exposed to other people, you're communicating.
So every moment we are behaving, we're saying something about
Yeah.
ourselves, right?
Even when we are alone,
Yeah.
then we talk to each other, to ourselves in the mirror.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Everybody does that. And people that don't say they don't do that, there's something wrong with them or they're lying.
Maybe, or maybe they're just too shy to admit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See. So also, in making this what do I say, this podcast, this show, when I interview people, I have some struggles, especially in opening it. So I'm not sure, do I have to be lively? Do I have to be serious? Or what? What do you think is the best way to open a show?
Depending on you, many people like it when you go like, welcome to this podcast, and I am Damie, and I do this, and because then you're confident that people want to watch more, so that's actually your trigger point.
Mhm.
Uh, but there's no good way of doing a podcast or a show, except that you make sure that the person you're talking to
Mhm.
feel comfortable and therefore is able to share as much as you want them to share.
Okay.
In the end, you're trying to find information to share with the audience,
Mm.
and when people feel comfortable, they will share you the most.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. So that is also my kind of question. Like, I'm not sure how to make people comfortable. Like, I think I just show, but some people are comfortable, some people are not. So
Depending on the character, depending on who they are, depending on how they behave themselves in certain public sceneries,
mm,
right? Some people are shy, sit at the couch all day or
mhm.
in the office and not speak to many people. So suddenly they have to talk. So talking is not
Yeah.
for everyone the same, right?
Yes, exactly. Some people are good, some people are still
Yeah,
struggling, right?
and then as an interviewer, you should be able to pull out the information that you want. So level in the character, motivate the people to talk, make some jokes, and make sure that they feel comfortable.
Yes.
Because when they're comfortable, they share more.
Yes, yes, exactly. So, speaking about the book, we are the creators. So, what is the main topic here?
We are the creators. Mm, self-development.
Self development.
To say it like the quote I love. Uh, in our life, we have many challenges that influences us on who we are, meaning how our parents raise us, our education, our friends, whoever influences us to become who we are today. And many people, actually almost everyone, comes at a certain point in life where they are not happy with themselves. And in psychology, they call it midlife crisis, for example. It's one of those things, but you also have a borderline, right? So there's a lot of phases in life where people come to face themselves, and then they not really feel aligned from within with the identity they have, right? I believe that if you are capable to question yourself, plan ahead for who you want to be, how you want to be developed, and knowing how to do that with help, without help, uh, that will make your life more happier. And that's why we are the creators, because we actually are able to create the world within our perception how we want it to be. And so don't be who you became,
Mm.
but be who you want to be.
Mhm.
It's a very dangerous aspect because in that case, sometimes people think there's no room for manners and culture and those kind of things. But that's nonsense because if you are a person with high integrity and you really love and care about the people around you, then that should never be in danger to become who you are.
Mm.
It would be actually pretty hypocrite if you're like that.
Yeah.
If I change myself, I would hurt other people. That would be,
Yeah, yeah. There's just a
there's something
reason.
wrong. Then you really have to go to a psychologist, probably.
Yeah, yeah,
You need professional help.
yeah. So, so I was interested when you said we are influenced by many things in our life.
Yes.
Yes. So what are so is there a certain phase where someone is mainly influenced? How do I say it? What kind of phase
Well,
really affects a person? Is
well,
it childhood, adulthood,
yeah,
or
the first one is always in your when you're a teenager. So when you're a little toddler, you learn things, you try to behave yourself, and people are still a little bit pushing you in the direction where they want you to go with them as example, and your parents. But then when you are becoming 11, 12, some earlier, you come in a situation that you start comparing other people with yourself,
okay?
right? And then when as you grow older, sometimes you cannot recognize yourself in your own situation at home, for example,
Yes.
and then you get lost, and then it's really how people would call it becoming mature
Mm-hmm.
becomes really difficult right there because then you didn't find your own identity yet.
Mm.
In psychology, we have a name for that called borderline.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, what they meant with borderline is people that actually did not find their own identity yet. So they're inconclusive, they follow a lot, they're very
Ah.
impulsive, they are very emotional, right? Because why? They're frustrated because
Mm.
they have no base in their character.
Ah. I
And
see.
that's maybe the one where it all starts.
Mm.
For me, myself, becoming mature doesn't exist.
Mm.
That's just a culture, a thing that people expect from you that suddenly you become serious.
Okay, so what you mean to say is always a growing phase.
Yes. So, and you keep growing till you die.
Mm.
There's no stopping that.
Okay. Interesting. So, I finished your book, and there's this one really interesting thing I remember, where you assess some people's characters as an example, and one of them is about manipulation, their manipulation tendencies. And what interests me is that throughout my life, I always think manipulation is something negative, but apparently that's not the case. So,
Well, that's why you have a different word. It's the same like love and hate,
mm-hmm,
right? Love and hate is a really thin line, and when you put it out, it switches, right?
mm-hmm,
Love can become obsession, obsession becomes hate, and hate, or worse enemy, usually become a best friends if you make peace, if you find common ground.
yes,
And why? Because they know everything from you.
mm-hmm,
And your best friend can become your worst enemy, also for the
yeah,
same reason.
okay,
And when you go to that kind of good and evil in manipulation, manipulation is the evil word.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And the good word is influencing.
okay,
Right? So when we are motivating people and
mm-hmm,
people coaching people, you're influencing them to
mm-hmm.
become the best part of themselves. And manipulation is actually the same, only then for our benefit.
Ah, I
And
see.
influence, that's my own interpretation, by the way.
Ah, I see, I see. Yeah, yeah, I just see that in the example. So in the example, it was clear that okay, some manipulation can be good.
Yes.
Yes, yes, such as giving data, persuading people. Yeah, but
When you're a leader,
examples
you're influencing your people or manipulating your people the whole time because you want to push them forward and perform the best, the highest productivity.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the way of integrity that you use to do that, that decides if it's influence or manipulation. Are you pushing them forward so they can feel successful and perform the best from themselves, so they can improve themselves, or are you pushing them because then you can show good results to your boss?
Yeah, yeah,
It's same thing,
yeah,
but with a different perception.
yeah. Different goals.
Exactly.
Okay. And another thing, still in the example wrong. So there was some examples, a lot of examples,
Yes.
on assessing people's characters, and I noticed there are many examples of assessing people with good characters,
Yes.
and one example of someone with bad character. So my question is, why just one example of bad character?
Because bad character is. We just talked about influencing and about manipulation, right? Um, Discovering the good in people is always more important than the bad, in my opinion.
Mm.
And if you ever want to go to the bad way, come to my classes. I will teach you more about that. Yeah, I did only one, but actually I did two bad ones, I think, and depends on what is considered bad, right? Because you have to look. If you look at examples, you have to look at storylines,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it looks good from all sides,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes together in the conversation, it's bad for one and good for the other.
Ah, see.
Yeah, so, but the one was indeed the one really 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 bad. I think that was the woman that reported wanted to report to the police.
Okay.
Because I like also I like to give examples that are casual, right? Not
Mm-hmm.
not in the profession too professional. The book is for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to learn how to manipulate or influence
Mm-hmm.
uh, your client in signing to the contract, we will do that in expert training. But I don't want to do that too much in the book.
I see. Okay. Better take note, guys. Okay. And speaking of characters, so I grew up watching lots of Disney movies, and as usual in Disney movies, there is the pure good and pure evil, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, do you believe that kind of pure good or pure evil exists in this world?
Yes, definitely. Let me say it like this. But that's my own perception, right? If you take in the book, it's a little bit there. The theory of Albert Ellis, where we talk about the rational, emotional behavior theory. Separate from that, I think that a good balance between ratio and emotional can be considered good, and nobody is on the 50% line.
On the 50%.
50% line. So that's meaning
Okay.
50% rational, 50% emotional, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
balancing that. When you are looking at people, and now, in my opinion, good or bad, when you go further on into the emotional side, then if you come to the last 5%, so 95% emotional, then you have people with high compassion, high empathy, and those kind of things. And those people are actually untrustworthy because they are always going into the impulse of the emotion and sometimes forget the ratio on how to behave to other people. And if you go to the rational side, you do the same. So 95% rational. Then you have people that don't care. Oh, you're hungry. Yeah, that's not my problem.
Okay.
You have no house. Oh, well, good job. I wish you good luck. And no empathy at all.
Okay.
So that defines for me actually good and evil. And to be able to balance the emotional and rational to make people feel more comfortable, no matter if they're on the emotional side or the rational side. But if you can pull them in to the situation where they become more emotional, when they're very rational, and that's the good side because that's the honest side.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? That's my own interpretation, by the way. It's not there's no theory for this. It's just how I see good and bad. Good and bad. You can hurt somebody and you're too rational and you really don't care if the people just broke a leg or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Not my
Yeah.
problem. I don't want to explain it to the police. I don't want to
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It takes me a lot of time to help that person.
Oh my God. Yes. Oh, I can imagine that kind of person.
Exactly. Sounds bad, right?
Yes.
So that's my interpretation for good and evil in that.
Okay. So, knowing that, I bet our readers are curious. Where can they get the book?
Everywhere. The publisher published it for local bookstores, and Gramedia adopted the book because they were the one also who bring it to the publisher. They have it available in every shop.
Okay.
But then also order via me or via my friends. There's some order forms here and there, so you can order it everywhere. And then also the price. Normally, a book like this would be like 3, 4, 500,000 rupiah. But I didn't want that because I want everybody to be able to buy this book. And I know we're out of the era of reading books because you have a smartphone and a computer or tablet. But a book is actually the same as a phone. And the advantage of a book is you don't need to charge it.
Yes.
And instead of press the button next page, you just turn it manually and it reads. And reading from a book is for your psyche and for your soul more relaxing and more comfortable than reading from a screen because that has a totally different effect on your brain.
Yes, I agree with that. I mean, I have tried reading an online book. It really hurts my eyes,
Yes.
so it doesn't really work for me. And also, secondly, my tip in liking a book is I like to smell it when I feel tired or sleepy. When reading a book, I smell the papers because I like how books smell.
I grew up with reading books. We had no tablets, so I read a lot of books. So I know the advantage and the difference between that. And I hate it, to be honest. I don't even like it to write my work from the computer. I will print it out and then read it on paper.
Yes, yes. Oh, that's also what we do in my family. Like we print everything and just read.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so the book can be get in every Gramedia,
Yes, all
in
Indonesia.
the mall all over Indonesia, and also online through Dami
Yes.
and your friends.
Yeah, if you just Google "We Are the Creators," you can buy it anywhere. I saw it. Some people sell it in Tokopedia, some
Ah,
on Shopee.
okay.
So it's actually available everywhere. Only there's not really. We didn't really promote it yet because I like to share and I like to give it away as my friends and in trainings. I give it to other students.
Ah,
I hope it. I hope everybody buys it because that's for me. I wrote the book because Indonesia is on the verge of transformation. 300 million people almost soon, and character development is an essential role combined with international language like English. Yes, I wrote it in Bahasa, but my trainings are all in English. And why do I do that? Because then Indonesian people can uh, practice the conversation techniques in English, and meanwhile learn something about communication in universal, meaning you can apply it in anywhere. And I think Indonesians need this to become more secure, more confident, stronger, because that's what we need to become the best country in the world.
yes, exactly. And also, actually, you have answered some of my friends' questions. So that they asked, they see me holding the book, and they asked, "Is the book in English?" And I said, "No, it's in Indonesian." So no worries, every Indonesian can read it. You can just read it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
true.
understand it. Okay.
I wanted to make it comprehensive, so in Bahasa is that the best way.
Mhm.
For English, it would be too much jargon in psychology, and that makes it too complicated.
Yes. Yeah, and there will be also maybe some words lost in translation.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what is your final message for the watchers and our readers out there?
Yeah, I go back to what I said before. If you want to, if you not want to, if you, no, what did I say? If you want to improve yourself in your communication techniques, no matter your education level, if you want to be able to uh, recognize people's characters or manipulation in conversations like lying or that kind of stuff, and when we are in a sales meeting or when we are in a recruitment interview, we sometimes have those hunches that people are lying or not telling the truth or bending the truth. So, how do you counter that without creating conflict? So, if you want to be a better communicator, then I would suggest you read the book. If you want to be a stronger personality, I would suggest you read the book. If you just want to learn more about psychology in general, I suggest you read the book. And it also contains a story about me, how I learned along the way uh, how I applied these kind of theories in my life and made it into my own method. We Are the Creators is simply a tool to become who you want to be and not be who you became. Um, this is just the basics, meaning there's much more than meets the eye in the book. And if you ever want more training or private coaching, I'm willing to help everybody. I think that's what I want to say to the audience. And yes, buy the book. Go to the nearest Remedia, no matter where you live, Manado, Medan, Sumatra, Balikpapan, whatever. You can buy it everywhere, even on the islands like Bali, Lombok, Belitung, everywhere is for sale.
Yes, you hear that, guys. So, no matter where you live, you can find the book in any stores,
Yes,
online and offline.
true.
Thank you for your time, Dami. I wish you best of luck, and also for the book. I am Farsha Bila.
Thank you.
See
Bye
you
bye.
soon. Bye-bye.